underneath.
Oh, Drafty.
There's also a note for Jat as we get into Champ Select. PS Jat, I will
Okay. Ja. Asierbahn, Pantheonbahn ergibt Sinn. First Pick, Wukong ist raus, Rum ist raus, Gwen ist offen. Gwen First Pick für Photon und Gwen ist raus, okay. Aurora? Nicht Channel First Pick Mitte? Oh, war raus, okay.
Gwen, Azir, and Pantheon. Pantheon remaining on that kind of permaban red side list. This does leave Varus up for Jake to lock in. Yeah, Rumble was picked in game 1, yeah.
Okay. Was antworten wir? Rache, was hast du anzubieten? Rache, rede mit mir. Rache. Kaiser? Nee, Herbst.
But I feel like both teams going to be able to like play Aurora as a flex. So that's something that both
Oder
teams
Corki? Corki, oder?
around. And it's a good takeaway from Photon.
That's what I was going to say, is it is a bit of a takeaway. And because you are on red side, you have the ability
Jin,
to kind of hide if it is a flex till later on in the draft. So, you know, it could be potentially going up towards top.
Okay.
I do think both Castle and Photon.
Corki in der Varus ist terrible, aber das Matchup trotzdem öfters, ihr wisst nicht. Also, mein Jin ist fein, gutes Neutralizer-Matchup.
Makes them a lot harder to predict in draft. But Ryze, I think, is actually a pretty nice answer. Allows you to play through sides.
Ja, das Series bisher, G1 war eine Shitshow, ja.
Unless someone is really heavily dedicating their comp towards it. And if you are leaning against Aurora, you're so tanky that I think it's really difficult for Aurora to actually do much to you once you're just on like row and marks.
Yeah, and honestly, thinking about it from Dignitas side in game 1, you could tell with the double TP, the TP on
Apel ausgespielt, nicht, dass ich wüsste, nein. Ja, was pick mal? Pick mal Toplane. Jungle, okay. Ja, Jarvan sehe ich. Hui hat auf jeden Fall schon genug Fresh in seiner Karriere gespielt. Ich weiß nicht, ob er spielen würde jetzt, ja. Mal sehen. So, XU, was hast du anzubieten, ne? Neues Schwein vielleicht?
Honestly, would have really preferred if they just went Nico early on
Bobby.
the side of Dig, because I feel like
Boah, der Poppy-Pick ist aber horrible hier, oder nicht?
such a powerful bot lane. You can play for poke,
Also,
play for engage, like it's so flexible.
das ist ein hardcore horrible Poppy-Angle, oder nicht?
They're picking with Jin, they can't really win the 2v2. So I would have liked them to kind of over-index more into that bot lane. When you're going to first pick Varus, set it up for success.
Yeah, especially since one of the things that I think Dig was missing in the first game were prio lanes to play around.
Das heißt, gerade schaut es nachher besser 4 aus, right?
Double crab coming in, that's where we saw some of those setups going wrong, like you mentioned.
Apel war so ein Poppy gespielt.
Poppy locked in now for DSG. Also a flex, can kind of go anywhere.
Yeah, flexible counters the J4.
Ja, die brauchen ein bisschen Engage, ne? Also, ich glaube, die würden eventuell sogar für Rell opten hier. Eventuell Rell oder Rakan opten. Maybe Rakan 4? Das Bilanz ist raus.
I think one thing I don't really love here from DSG is it's like they go Aurora early. It's like, hey, it could be a
Rakan für sein Opening, bei der Kills
I
gepickt.
think you're showing that it's going mid lane pretty heavily because like
Sieht mir nach Rakan auf 4 aus.
we're gonna play a top, right? It's something you'd want to play into. So
Sieht sehr nach Rakan auf 4 aus.
that it is gonna be mid. And there's the Nico getting banned out that I was talking about. Like I really feel like in the second game you can easily find some sort of AD jungle to slot in for Shaden, no problem. So they've lost the opportunity for Dig now to be able to actually have that power duo of Nico Varus.
Exactly, and just to bounce off your point, like, you pretty much has shown that it is just strictly a fake flex. Like, if you're going to be banning the Renekton, which we have seen already in the LTA North, that, like, the Aurora...
Am besser, okay. Ja, ich sag, die Sache ist, am besser hat sich natürlich mit denen hier angebannt, jetzt bekommen die aber Rakan, right? Wenn sie wollen, die bekommen jetzt theoretisch Rakan. Dann müsstest du Last Pick Karma oder sowas machen, je nachdem, oder halt Rell. Rell ist auch okay.
Right side, and we're blind picking both our solo laners.
Yeah.
Right? I just kind of am like, what's the point? Like, unless you have some really...
Bin ich aber okay, na. Also ich meine, Jax gebannt, Renekton gebannt, Yorick ist raus.
Poppy could theoretically be going jungle. You could be going for some sort of support to try to counter pick down on bot.
Poppy support, maybe. Maybe.
Wasn't selected. So if they can get like a really heavily winning lane in that way, then I'm more okay with how DSG is drafting. But otherwise, I'm just so not a fan of going red side and being the ones blind picking both your solos.
Yeah.
It's like... The
Baumhölle, nein.
is that you get this power pick of Varus.
Obwohl, könntest ja, actually, könntest du. Aber wenn du Braun blind pickst, dann kommt Rakan Last Pick und das ist nicht so geil. Dankeschön.
Their draft somehow, and I'm just kind of a little bit dubious that that's going to happen. So I really am not a fan of kind of how DSG has
Jetzt könnten sie theoretisch Jungle Last picken.
I mean,
Sie könnten jetzt Jungle Last picken, aber ich weiß nicht, ob Exio was anderes hat. Wie ist Kindle für das Geist schlecht, weil es Exio spielen würde? Ansonsten wäre es valid.
Yeah, and just taking, now that we can see the full Dignitas composition, once again, J4 has pretty good angles if he's trying to play through like bot or
Mit Rakan okay.
mid, like, and also with Ryze as well, great setup. It looks like they can find setup on engages from any member, J4 ulti, the Rel engage.
Okay, treues Schwein, ja, okay. Der Disguise, ich schwöre, dieser Disguise-Coach braucht eine Promotion. Der hat so schlau, nein, dieser Disguise-Coach braucht eine Beförderung. Nur am Kurs bis später, dann ist das ist so schlau. So, wollt ihr Hard 6 oder Win? Hard 6 oder Win-Wette? Was wollt ihr haben? Was wollt ihr?
Has a very solid composition for J4 to try and play through any of these lanes. You're happy if they get gold. So Shaden's got his choices ahead of him.
50-50 as fuck.
Casters, what do you think? Who do you think won this big ban?
Geht beides, ne. Okay, wir machen diese Runde Heartstreak, Guys, weil ich glaube, jetzt sind alle Heartstreak Champions sind raus, okay? Alle Heartstreak Champions sind raus, alle realistischen. Wie viel Heartstreak, 5 Minuten, wie viel Heartstreak Stacks hat die Sejuani am Ende, okay? Sind es 180 und mehr oder weniger?
Playing his first ever game on Jarvan, because to me, Jarvan has always just been one of those, like, yeah, this guy's always popular in the jungle in pro play. Like, obviously, sometimes he'll be out of the meta. He won't be quite as strong, but it seems like whenever there's an opportunity to play Jarvan, somebody's playing Jarvan, and this is apparently the first time Shaden's ever done that.
Yeah, I mean, Shaden, we'll see how he does.
Niemand safe da jetzt ins Kauf, die kauft
honestly, going after the Jhin, like whenever you have a low mobility carry like that for AD carry, that's going to be the prime target. Both the solo laners that he's playing against are pretty mobile. That can be kind of annoying for Jarvan because Aurora is really hard to land your stuff on, and it doesn't even really matter with your ultimate since you can just bounce all over the place. So he's primarily going to be looking towards Rahel, but they were looking towards Rahel in the last game, and they could not kill him. Even with
Bootstart für Rachel.
5 members. So
Das der Titel, grüße Stongnum.
And I think he might be able to do that again.
Wow, look at this, man.
Hat der Titel bei dir funktioniert oder nicht? Sei ehrlich.
Already, Kobe, give me the damage rank.
Sei doch ehrlich, Tom, hat der Titel bei dir funktioniert oder nicht?
Wow, he landed that E on 2 people. For a first-time Jarvan, I mean, to lead the game in damage.
Right, everybody else, it's just a box full of donuts over here. And then Jarvan with 126, just feeling fantastic.
First time Jarvan as well, Flowers.
Yeah.
First time Jarvan, first damage of the game, first attempt with the flag, and he hits it. Beautiful gameplay so far here from Shaden. And honestly, I can't wait to see more.
Yeah,
Exquisite.
I'm on the edge of my seat. In terms of the way I see the draft playing out, I do feel like it's still a winnable draft from DSG, even if they didn't get value from.
Wenn sie keins gekauft, gewinnt Ander? Nope.
When they decide to flex, I don't feel like they're flexing into terrible matchups. I think Ambessa's a
Ist kein Draft oder? Nö.
I know that Aurora is a champion that
Sind beide okay.
can snowball with really well if you're against especially like a mid-range comp because you can get tons of
Poppy kann ja richtig viel Value haben.
Definitely still a winnable game for DSG, but I would give the slight edge to Dignitas just because I'm a big fan of Varus.
Und für Arthur and Conqueror, I have no idea. Maybe in case von, wenn der Gegner Grasp gibt, musst du auch Grasp gehen. Da gehen wir welches Jungle-Pokémon. Statistisch gibt es manche Champions, wo Red Smite besser ist. Ansonsten mit Blau machst du nie was falsch.
Not going to get anything more than just the cleanse. We talked about it a little bit at the beginning of lane phase last game, where when AD carries run like the barrier or something, they'll just use that to trade early. Kind of the same thing here. You just stick around the wave long enough to where if the guy hits level 2 and he charges you, whatever, pop the cleanse block.
And we have been looking a lot at this bottom lane. Since DSG got Rahel, it has kind of revitalized this team. They've looked so much better. So I do like that XU is pathing down towards that bottom lane. And as you say, without the cleanse already on Tomo, you know, they can apply some pressure, even if it just results in like them missing CS down there for the enemy bottom lane. You can definitely set Rahel up for success in this game here on the Jhin, who he currently is in the 1v2, but honestly his trade
War gar nicht auf Tomo. Also ist at this point 6 CS down gerade.
Well,
after coming back from warding.
Ich habe keine Ahnung, hat es reingepickt, also.
He's still going to be able to push that bot lane with impunity based on the way the junglers have pathed so far. They have the security of XU being in bot river. The fact that he doesn't see Shaden.
Jetzt schon wärst du gar nicht, weil gerne Aurora nicht unsichtbar sein kann.
So no double crab this time for XU, and it's interesting that he got a little bit of extra vision before going for Scuttle Crab just to really make sure that Jarvan wasn't looping around for a gank.
Yeah.
But DSG playing well to their conditions right now.
And I mean, Shaden's assignment early game in this one is kind of the opposite of what it was in game number 1, where he's on the Wukong, he wants to farm till 6, be impactful once he has his ulti. Jarvan is like the champion that comes to mind for me with like, as long as he's not level 1, he's ready to gank. But now the dive in the bottom side is going to be XU taking the early
no, Rachel ist tot. Wie zur Hölle ist Rachel tot? Was ist da gerade passiert? Flash.
Now Castle in some danger as Shaden does find his first gank of the game. Castle still looking to get himself back away underneath that turret. Shaden does take one more shot and Castle survives.
Ooh, Castle really wanted to just walk that one out. He was close enough.
Also Poppy aus dem Tower raus, perfekt.
Burns it just at the end there, so we're gonna have flashes burned on.
Aber Jin nur Schuhe, er hat mit T1-Boost geschaut, vielleicht weil er es geschützt nutzen musste oder sowas.
Dashes Tomo over to the side there.
Nein, er tankt den W, das ist nicht wahr. Nein. Er hatet den W auf die Rell, weil oh mein Gott.
So Rahel also going down, but as we said, Tomo had to flash. So you have that as well as the minions dying to tower and now it bouncing back for the swap.
Rahel didn't even get a Siskel though. It was actually just a Poppy Sejuani dive. I feel like if Rahel would have just flashed through the turret, it would have been successful, but he was likely not expecting the turret to swap to him the way that it did.
Ja, ich bin aber auch, ich glaube, da flashen ist keiner whatever. No joke, keiner whatever.
Babysitting Kane.
Will ihm helfen, ja.
Yeah,
oh,
this guy's mid laners take their first TPs a minute ago, make those first purchases, refillable in tier.
Sag mir, ich wieder nicht die Boots oder nicht Hex. Ihr könnt auch draufklicken. Funktioniert doch, oder nicht? Was hat er für eine Route? Hat er Free Boots?
Darkwings did land that full trade with the twofold Hex into the Weirding with the Electrocute proc, and it just zaps you for 40% of your health.
Funktioniert, funktioniert, ja. Was hat er? Hat er Free Boots? Welcher Hui ist hier auf Support? Was meinst du? Wie, welcher Hui? Es gibt nur einen Hui. Boots, ja. Okay.
Not a very fun situation.
The wave is pushing towards him, so he's just trying to like tough it out down there. He was trying to like farm from very far with just spamming Qs, but meanwhile on this top side.
I mean, it's
funktioniert nicht trotz 2-5.
So it's not like they're getting anything by having Isles with the extra time up here. Photon would need to swap back, but they were hoping to break the freeze. And now Castle's level 6, so Tomo has to leave.
Yeah, I mean, right now, he just saw Sejuani in the pit too, so he's thinking, is that
Sejuani? Mit den Hui, das ist derselbe, genau. Der Hui ist der mit der Hui dabei. Oh, Oldschool, wenn ich weiß, habt ihr Oldschool LCS geschaut? CLG Hui mit der Aureon Soul, der die Freewinds abgeholt hat. Burner Play. Hey. Not bad at all. Die meine ich dann, ja.
Guaranteed Darkwings could jump in for the damage.
Not bad at all.
Money in the pocket of the disguised mid laner.
For sure, very fast level 6 by XU there, and immediately getting the ultimate on cooldown, plus getting the kill and flash. Another good start to this game by DSG.
And again, in this one, DSG have a lot of pick potential across all of their champions.
Gutes Timing. Sehr, sehr leckeres Timing natürlich für XU.
As you see in the replay, when the flash was burned there, trying to get away from the Sejuani, and Sejuani still had ult too, so...
Was er Down bis jetzt gemacht hat, zweimal gefolgt und einmal versucht, Toplane zu ganken.
Darkwing's able to get that kill, but also, the Rise now, no flash for a long time, and Tomos is coming back up a bit sooner, but still having both a Rise and a Varus, which are low mobility carries, versus a comp like this that has many pick tools, is pretty scary when you get your flashes burned.
Plus the conclusion of this lane swap just shows that not only is DSG ahead.
Warte mal, hat Hui auch Free Boots?
In gold, they're ahead in levels too. Like Darkwing's Castle, the highest levels in the game. XU as well.
Diese Freaks, beide Supports haben Free Boots.
Everyone pretty
much Supports
on DSG ahead of
what the fuck?
Experience as well.
What the fuck?
Scary stuff for Dignitas, who are going to have to probably contest some neutral objectives here soon. We've got the Grubs spawning in about 10 seconds. It's another game without an early Drake take. Remember that in game number 1, the first Drake didn't fall till about...
Ein Hexflash auf Poppy, ja, die Sache ist, die spielen halt Spellbook, ne? Also kein Hexflash sehe ich sogar irgendwo wegen halt Spellbook.
They are very, very highly contested most of the time, and XU is going to go ahead and start this one off for Disguise. Still trying to get the wave pushed out up here on the top side. Tomo firing off the piercing arrow. Dignitas, however, ready ready to come and try to fight for this. It is a 4v3
Schön engaged. Oh. Nein. Oh nein. Oh nein. Und TP auch noch. Oh, 3 für 3 Gubis, I guess.
But because Dig had to commit to leaving with the Realm Warp, that means that total control over the topside river and total control over all 3 grubs goes to the skies.
Yeah, and so DSG, they do teleport Castle over.
Hab mir nicht gewettet, mehr oder weniger. Mehr Leute haben auf 180 oder mehr Stacks gehabt, okay.
Is he actually going to even teleport bottom to get there quicker? It depends on how many of those minions are dying to the tower right now. Maybe there is a cannon minion down there, so he didn't lose quite that many, but he doesn't opt to teleport down, just walks down there.
Und das ist kalt jetzt, oder? Ja, Fenster zu.
Does miss some of that wave that was pushed in.
DSG had a lot of resources to spend there. I think Dignitas is a little bit lucky to not get caught by anything because they were in a guaranteed 5v4 once Castle teleports in. So the grub take contest.
Oh mein, nein, Tomo.
Both summoners, but they might be looking for a dive.
Tomo with an early chains of corruption to block Darkwings, but Darkwings tries to jump in for a bit more damage. As soon as he misses the weirding of the 2-fold hex, though, there's not really the opportunity to have enough damage to guarantee the opportunity, to guarantee a chance, an angle for the kill there. So Disguised now just going to turn their focus over to the Drake. It's not as late as it was in game number 1, and it is going to be the second neutral objective of this game, going Disguised's way. Just like that first game, they're controlling the neutrals in game 2.
Yeah, the side lanes have been very good for them as far as these swaps.
Ich was talking
They got some extra experience, some extra little bit of minions.
Scaling-Frage.
The last one with the teleport up towards the
Keine Ahnung.
Of the map.
Bin schon OP.
Still has flash and his ulti.
Ooh, nice jump away from the rain of arrows there, going between worlds to make sure that he can zoom back to safety. So Darkwings, yeah, he'll lose the ulti, but honestly, you don't feel that bad about it, considering you're in the 1v2 down there. Up on the top side, the 1v1 continues between these two bruisers as they are still both working with components, moving towards those first completed items.
It does show, though, the Castle ended up losing a lot with that teleport to Rift Herald. To the Grubs, where his team was able to secure them because he had a big lead. Now he's down 250 gold. I'd also say Darkwings a little bit on the defense, having to burn his ultimate there, and now just needing Huhi to stick around to protect against the dive. Small things are bringing Dignitas back into this game with the lane assignments.
Yeah, the big thing is that there's not a big objective for another like 4 minutes. And so everybody will have plenty of time now, and it's just about who's going to be able to get a pick in the meantime. I guess ultimate here for Castle is going to be a nice cooldown advantage for Photon here. A lot of times you
ist dieses Aatrox-Matchup, okay.
Use the Mbessa ultimate,
Top-Lane Mains
CC immunity.
Erklärt mir dieses Matchup hier auf Top-Lane. Er hat Aatrox reingepickt in Mbessa. Ist es nicht impossible, die Qs zu treffen später? Oder sehe ich was nicht?
But Photon's held on to his, so he didn't pop it to go for a full chase. So big advantage here for Photon with extra ultimate.
But the nice part about that is, like you mentioned, Jad, it's not like there's an objective to fight for.
Game Matchup, glaube ich, okay.
4 minutes or so. But
ja, LTA frei ist
this
super
game and game number 1 is, remember that in game 1, the Herald and the Dragon, they were entirely desynced.
Yeah.
In this game, they're going to be spawning at
roughly
the same time. So again, it's one of those things where as soon as I notice that in a game, I'm always thinking about the opportunity, particularly for the team that's behind, to just handshake trading the objectives instead of going to contest them directly.
Absolutely, as long as they can have the setup to do that. So it's going to be about so that they're able to make that trade and not just let a team completely push you off of mid-wave and do as they please. But I'd say the Rise is starting to get to work in the side lane. Aatrox is consistently getting some push onto the Ambessa. So Dig has the tools at the moment, I think, if they want to be able to pull off that trade in about 2.5 minutes.
Nice route there from Rahel. He'll follow it up with a little bit of damage, but again, we're mostly just fighting back and forth here.
Also Rahel ist 20 CS ahead. Das ist schon wieder ein halbes Level, ne?
Crab initially started off by XU. Shaden does want to show up and contest for this one. He'll smite it down to steal it away. So just a little bit of extra resources in his pocket. Still about a 1,000 gold lead overall for Disguised as a team, with less than 90 seconds on the clock now until the turret plates fall. You can see a couple plates taken in the top.
Nicht so sein, ich glaube nicht.
Back over in mid. The turrets still pretty much full HP on both of them, and bottom is 1 plate for 1 plate. So it's not like either team has really had a ton.
Wir sind hier favorisiert. Ich hätte gesagt, das Geist ist favorisiert, aber ich bin von 5 Games ausgegangen. Ich und der Rest von Broadcast Crew sind von 5 Games ausgegangen.
Approach for the next Dragon. About a minute ahead of time, you want to send everybody back to get your control wards, so you can have a good setup for it and you can have some good vision. especially since there are so many opportunities for people to get picked up when approaching it. And both mid laners don't have their teleports. The cooldowns are pretty low, but that's why they're in the bottom lane already over there.
Turret plating will fall soon.
Thank you, announcer. That's the guarantee. It's disappearing soon. Cash in while you can cash in. And Disguise is looking to cash in on Kaney, but the Glacier misses.
Oh my
he tried to follow it up with a nice tackle, but he does not find the collision into the turret. Disguise throws a lot at him, but they ultimately miss. Now Dignitas wants to move in. Storm from Isles locks up.
Hat kein W oder? Oh my days, oh my days, oh my days.
Nobody dies.
It's shocking to me that no one on DSG died after that Isles engage. I'd say
Gottes Willen.
From Kaney, he dodged everything and made it so that DSG, what was close
Das
to
wird eine absolute Shitshow.
ended up not being a kill at all. They don't get a full capitalization off that.
Oh my guys, oh my guys, oh my guys, oh my
Yeah,
guys.
DSG spent 3 ultimates and 3 flashes, and they're the ones that are actually going to lose the tower.
Hilf mir.
So very big counter there from Dig. You know, XU used his ult, Darkwings used his ult, as well as Huhi in the attempted tower dive onto Kaney. And then you only needed one.
Das ist Canada, ja. Oh my days.
He got a very good
Und kein Hotzi-Stack.
with the rel. So that results in tower taken here by Dignitas to chop down on that DSG gold lead.
Miles hanging around up here in the top side, just shadowing Photon in case there's any danger, any potential of an attempted dive. I mean, XU is in the area alongside Huhi.
Engaged.
Goes Castle.
Engaged.
Photon spreads his wings.
Engaged.
Gonna need to drain tank a lot here, but he goes over the wall to make sure he doesn't get CC'd. Nice counterattack from Shade, and Castle's got to try.
Oh my days, on XU, oh my god, und das Guys gewinnt. Oh my days.
There, and the feat of warfare is claimed.
Das ist nicht real.
Outmaneuvers them here in the scrap.
Und das ist Feats of Strength, ne? Weil die bekommen jetzt den Herald. Ja, die bekommen Harald.
Really tight fight there.
Oh mein Gott.
DSG was all sitting at pretty low health bars, and thinking about the way their composition works, they feel quite burst heavy, so to win an extended fight like that is a bit surprising, but it's not over yet. This Rift Herald is going to be an extended fight.
Teleports bringing everybody right on
Stachel,
back in, but
hat noch Flash natürlich.
Photon is locked up, beat down.
Was passiert?
Just yet, Rahel.
Was
Dignitas out fighting.
Was?
They save Photon's life.
Was?
And Disguise don't have enough left in the tank just yet. Castle wants to try to grab another one. Tomo's the only one he can possibly find though. And now the Realm Warp to cut off Darkwings is
Wie sind da jetzt 4 Leute tot?
who come out on top and take the lead.
Was?
DSG had him in the first half. Dignitas come back. And
Zeig mir mal.
while they're trying to kill the
Okay, jetzt Moment, was passiert hier?
an actual reward for DSG for winning the first half, because the Rift Herald just resets right afterwards. So we're going back to the beginning of it here, and you saw the triple knock up there from Shaden, but since Castle was able to flash out to that top side, and the key here is Jin Ultimate also coming over
So, jetzt war.
lay down the cover fire. So
Okay, Harald Gehstock steht noch. Wir können jetzt Harald Gehstock nehmen, ja?
They then thought, oh, we won that team fight, right? So because enemy support is down, but Rahel here sectioned off from the rest of the team, so they didn't have the Jin damage when they were going for their kill onto Photon. Look at that, Photon surviving. Rip
What?
go for that last auto on him and like pulled the claw back.
The first fight started with them trying to kill Photon. And then the second fight started with them trying to kill Photon. They really wanted Photon dead, but he ends up having the last laugh with the double kill at the end of the fight.
Nicely done there. Nicely done for Dignitas. You know it's got to be a bit of a sigh of relief.
Ja, zweiter Drake, aber viel.
This one's not also starting to slip away from you here at this Rift Herald point. We even mentioned in the previous game how the last time these two teams played, it was always around Rift Herald where the games would start to diverge in terms of greater gold leads. And even though the gold is still only not even 1,000 apart, it was a big swing from Disguised's control back towards Dignitas.
And DSG, like their composition is really built to kill low mobility carries. So they got to stick to the game plan, spend all of these resources on the Rise, on the Varus, get those flashes.
Diktator, danke für den 7. Dankeschön.
Low mobility carries killed, you know, with their Ambessa, with their Sejuani, with their
Okay, nachher der Artox Jin ballert richtig auf Items.
flank here, especially with the Aurora, but we're going to get a reset back down to the other side of the map.
How do they do against high mobility bruisers?
Yeah,
because
Photon
currently
here.
Photon Shaden are both pretty strong.
I mean, yeah, they were so close, but close does not cut it.
It doesn't.
Aatrox has a lot of healing, especially with Sundered Sky, and Photon was able to come back, and Photon ended up getting 2 kills in that fight. So it gets even harder with all that extra money. You know, he's got tenacity from Merc Treads. He has so much healing from his own kit as well as the Sundered Sky. Bruiser really is the key there. So him and Shaden really at the top of the charts.
It's a lot of jungler gold right there. First time for everything.
Yeah, first time Jarvan top of the charts.
Yeah, and again, because the last fight where Rahel was on the lower side of the Rift
Jesus.
you know, Shaden and Tomo just got to put so much pressure on him, and
Jesus.
Tomo not only killed
Die OP ist
Rahel,
Aurora.
but also burned his flash, so maybe it will be him looking for the enemy flashless AD carry.
Well, it's 1 minute on the clock until Otacon spawns. So for Dignitas, it's time for a big deep breath, right? You've stabilized a little bit. The game is certainly winnable from this position. You are no longer behind. You gotta play it cool around the Otacon.
I love Otacon.
You gotta be cool.
Yeah, get your blood pressure pumping.
The debuff is so invisibly powerful.
Yeah.
And it's not like people don't know that it exists at this point, but it just gets you no matter what you do. And then you're trying to fight through the Otacon. It'll shred you as you're going for an engage. And like if they get debuffed and Darkwings lands a good engage, it's over. The whole fight will be over.
Well, it's also easy to feel like it's probably not affecting you as much as it is, and to trick yourself because you're thinking, oh, as long as I'm dodging most of his abilities, he's not putting stacks on me. But as long as you're in his pit, you're getting stacks if you're fighting him, right? Like it is inevitable, and it creates just such a big opportunity for the other team to punish. As Dignitas will have control over this bottom side river here for now, but there is no Drake to fight over for the next 2 minutes or so still. Herald's going to be summoned up, disengaged there with the Keeper's Verdict, who he just launches Tomo all the way back, and now Disguise is going in, looking for a potential
stick.
onto Kaney, but they can't kill him just
Aurora
yet.
ist dick.
Still trying to scramble and get everybody back
Niemand
away.
stirbt.
Disguised, again, they're close, but close doesn't do good enough, as Dignitas keeps everybody alive.
They did
Das
get
ist
the
so ein
flash
Joke.
off of Kaney and a big chunk on him. So let's see what the rewards are. Little bit of jungle camp takeaway here. Take away Raptors, push on mid. But as you say, the Otacon takes a long time to kill. So it's not like just with some health leads they could go over and rush that thing down. There are teleports for the reset here for Kaney, so Dignitas, they still can get everybody out there to contest, and it is just a small little win there for
This could be a bigger deal now as Castle jumps towards Isles, but because of the tier 1 turret in the bottom lane for Dignitas still stands, it means it's much riskier to try to go after these guys right now.
I mean, DSG really feels like, I mean, both teams actually feel like they're very interested in Otacon right now, which is a bit surprising to me with how close this game is, but I think Shaden with his ultimate is going to be looking for an engage.
Goes in, finds his way onto XU here. The Sejuani's still very tanky. Isles and Shaden continuing to push forward. They've got the entirety of Dignitas behind them. They're moving into the bottom side jungle here as Disguised. Do not want to overstay.
Guys, top lane. Existiert top lane. Wir haben Double DP Disguised.
So your ultimates obviously come up way quicker. So they're trying to buy time here, and then they'll be in an advantageous point where Kaney still won't have his flash. But if they can get their Aurora ultimate cooldown back, that thing is back. The Jhin ultimate is back now as well. Now they are ready to
reset. Just calm down. They're ready to reset.
Kann irgendwer top lane gehen?
This fight happens. It's
Castle?
suicide for either team to start it at this moment because they just don't have enough push on any of these lanes.
I think the big play is to go for a pick on your ride.
Nein.
On that
Castle geht top lane.
From what you just spent.
Beat bot lane. I mean, es ist okay. Es ist okay. Es ist okay. Drake is up. Okay. Okay. Es ist fein. Es ist fein.
And so they can just burn the objective down and constantly look over.
Das hat laut gesagt, meine Frau, und ich bin so glücklich.
So he'll have to walk. That's why Castle is kind of
Button fertig.
OP
ulti, disgusting.
Disguised has to make sure they're ready for this as Dignitas is going to move in.
Oh, one shot auf Tomo.
Tomo's already down. Dignitas
GG.
makes a critical mistake. They wanted to go for the pincer attack, but the bait squad was not
Hat der einen One-Shot gedrückt bekommen.
Disguised was bringing to the
Mit Otacon auch noch weg, oder nicht?
2 free kills immediately. The Dragon up right after there for Soul Point. Tomo and Isles are still dead, and DSG are now going to dare
Tomo beide Thumbs up.
to meet him at the Otacon.
That was the low
looking.
mobility carry, not the high mobility bruiser, so they got the right target selection. I don't know if they can stop
Looking.
Otacon.
No, I think it's for sure theirs for DSG.
Shaden is on the other side of the map. There's no way to even try to contest it.
Yeah, and we're seeing the reward wards here because the Rise with no Realm Warp,
Ein Jarvan Split Push, stopp.
with no teleport, just was completely cut off from the entire fight. Castle took a really good position through Tri-Brush, made sure there's no way over for the Rise. So I was actually surprised that DSG then went with Photon's teleport in, and the 3-person group here at the top of Dragon, they just immediately get engaged on because they're look at this.
Wie ist Tomo One-Shot?
The Rise is so far away with no way of joining.
Boah, hätte er was machen können?
Ultimate there by Castle to one-shot Tomo. But to your point, Kobe, it's an easy collapse to make because even if you miss the engage, you're not inting the fight away since there's not enough people there to fight back.
Yeah, and that's why we keep on pointing out the small things that lead up to these fights. The cooldown victories ahead of time are important. Rise, no flash, no teleport, no realm warp.
Flash ja besser in Theorie.
He's not
Ja.
dead.
I guess sobald er ultet ist,
He might as well be dead. He's having the exact same impact in the fight as if he was dead.
And then it's just really difficult to try and pincer in a team that has snap engage like this, because they'll just turn on the side of the fight that has only a few members. As you said, though, good job there. Castle with the Mbessa, go straight in. They got the burst damage, and now DSG.
Ooh, Rahel in a little bit of danger here. Popped his own cleanse, but then immediately the Mikhails to guarantee that the follow-up Chains of Corruption did not spell doom for the disguised AD carry. So who he's purchased there on that support item really impactful right now, as we still only have 20 seconds left on the clock until Baron is finally going to spawn. Dignitas are moving around here. Isles using a summoner.
Eigentlich ist dieser Rise so fucking broke, ne?
Of XU and Castle. Isles jumps in for the Magnet Storm, and Castle's going to take a bunch of damage here at the very onset of the fight.
Dieser Rise ist so fucking broken eigentlich. Oh mein, Darkwings, oh mein Gott, Darkwings fährt zwar an die Wand. Ach du Scheiße. Nein, nein, nein.
Overstaying in the top.
Nein, nein, nein.
Going around to lock him down. Now it's a kill plus 2 critical health bars, and Diggs going on to the Baron.
And
They get it.
XU's smite here, the charge is still
Nein,
on
nein,
cooldown, so I
nein,
think they
nein,
should just get this.
There's no way that they don't get this Baron. It is
Wie passiert das?
impossible as impossible can be.
That's huge. Dignitas here.
Baron, 25 minutes. Let's go.
I mean, the fight was just a long extension of the original mid play. DSG was spread all over the map. So they're pushed in mid lane, then they make this collapse on top lane, and Darkwings thinks, I'm going to teleport in to save these guys, and they make the peel to fight. But then 2 things happen. While Darkwings goes for this engage, he just dives into the middle of all of the Dig damage dealers so they can finish him off. Meanwhile, Shaden just annihilates Huhi on the other side. So then it is a 3v5, a no flash Sejuani on 1/3 health, and a free Baron for Dignitas.
That is a massive swing for Dig, as they are now 3,000 gold ahead. And again, the timer for this is exactly where they need it to be. You've got 2 minutes and 15 seconds on your Baron, and now you've got Isles already dead. Disguised, nice pick there on the enemy support. This is exactly what you don't want to see.
Läuft mein Pferd?
Baron, and now you've
Warum läuft mein Pferd?
for the next 25 seconds. You can't use all.
Und ist irgendjemand los?
I mean, I guess Photon can still try and make some use of it split pushing, but yeah, there's also no Verisol. So no Rel, no Varus ultimate, you don't have a lot of threat. And then if you have no threat anywhere else, then Photon would just be sticking out like a sore thumb if he tried to apply any pressure and split push. And it just completely neutralizes a big timer here of the Baron buff. They got to wait for the respawn. They are teleporting.
163 stacks, by the way.
Mid and bottom lane pushing here, but
163 stacks.
are able to clear out several waves in the meantime.
And it is soul point. So DSG would love to be able to take this Drake, but you also have to question, if you have no waves, is it worth the risk?
Das ist nicht schlimmer als das K. Boah.
They are decently strong, but I don't think they're actually ahead in this team fight. And if you give away 5 kills, you'd actually lose control of the game. This would be a Drake I'd consider giving and trading for experience on a castle.
Well, Dignitas wants to go in, but they can only find an entry point onto XU. So Sejuani's going to lose her Arctic armor, but that's it. Only about, what, 10% HP shaved off there. But it does mean Dignitas maintains control over this bot side river. Drake spawning in 5 seconds. The Baron is still active on Dignitas for the next 45.
And they very well could just take the secondary tower on the top side of the map in exchange. That thing is very worthwhile. That is 700 gold for Castle and 25 gold for every other member of DSG. And so they do opt to get that concentrated gold for Ambessa.
Yeah, who he's gonna die though immediately.
Digga, das ist nicht wahr. Hallo, Guys, wir haben Castle auf Toplane. Können wir den bitte einfach pushen lassen?
Now too as Darkwings has to try to escape going between worlds. Shaden's gonna go in though. They lock up another one, and XU is not tanky enough to get out of there. Now Rahel under pressure.
Oh mein Gott.
Miles continues the chase.
Oh mein
Disguised.
Gott.
Just not looking good at this point. Dignitas continues.
211, 235 Stacks.
Keys Flowers. If you're gonna give up a dragon, you just give it up and you don't get close.
If you're gonna give something up, you better give it up.
You don't go. Very crucial thing. It's a very crucial step.
And then you go stare at it.
This is I really like this. Is like Kobe is John Madden for League of Legends.
Yeah. Well, if you're gonna give it up, don't go looking at it.
Yeah, you better leave it alone. If you're gonna leave something alone, leave it alone.
I know what he was thinking. He was thinking maybe I can slow him down. Because Castle was getting multiple turrets in the bot lane. He could not slow him down. I agree with your assessment.
Okay, so in the meantime, Castle got 2 towers.
Okay.
But there were some more chase down kills for Dignitas. So Dignitas here, these gold charts, look at them catching up.
Also die Sache ist, Rache noch ein Item.
Pretty good for Castle.
Yep.
Und es kann funktionieren. Dieser Ambessa ist komplett broken. Noch ein Item auf Rachel und es kann funktionieren hier. Aber das kann funktionieren.
Defensive itemization for Dignitas in particular. Death's Dance on Aatrox combines really well with his healing. XU wanted to go in there for the Glacial Prison, but Tomo does a beautiful job sidestepping away from it. Now still pressure continues as the curtain call fires off. Darkwings, though. This Aurora has not been it for him. He has not found the efficacy in the fight. And now the Fed Ambassa's in the middle of everybody. He's not strong enough.
Oh mein Gott. Wie OP ist Ambessa? What the fuck? What the fuck?
But he still falls to Photon.
Rache hat kein Flash auf. Wie broke ist Ambessa?
A double kill over the wall as Photon brings the hammer
What the fuck?
Disguise try. They do end up at least getting the kill on Dekaney, but they lose 3 of their own men for it.
Heroic effort there by Castle, but the original engage was quite flubbed, and Darkwings found himself in the middle of the entire team once again. So that's when the Aatrox and the Jarvan are really unleashed. They're a combined 10-0 in this game when they can actually get into these messy fights.
Yeah, let's take another look at it because it's also Guardian Angel on Shaden. So Jarvan gets to go wherever he wants, but the initiation in mid lane here, they're trying to make a move onto low mobility carries, onto Tomo, onto Kaney, and they just immediately get clapped there. Darkwings gets blown up. Then Castle tries to pull some fancy moves here, and then he's going to be able to ult to the other side onto the support. And he almost even like kind of found a route out there, but Photon also had flash, so he just flashes after him, takes him down.
Yeah, and then Shaden, knowing Rahel has no flash, just presses R, and that's the one guy he can definitely do that to anytime he wants.
Yeah, it's really the 2 Bash brothers on the front line, Photon and Shaden, that are leading the charge here for Dignitas. Of course, the Varus damage over the top here with the arrows is always strong. Very nice as well. Tomo did have to use his flash in the last play, but it was well worth it.
Oh yeah, he ends up keeping himself alive. He kills off Darkwings too, and I feel like the last 2 or 3 fights in a row, we just have not seen really a whole lot out of Darkwing's Aurora. And I think if Disguise wants a chance to win a fight, it's him in particular that's got to step up and have more effect and be able to play his role to a greater degree. As Dignitas are going to start the Baron. Immediately the blast cone is popped. Baron down to about 60% HP, and Dig wants to turn and go for a fight now. XU here on the front line, soaking some
Poppy Ulti, geile Poppy Ulti, Thanos ist raus. Darkwings bekommt Eils, oder?
But Rahel's been left all alone again. Nobody can protect him.
Warte, warum ist Rachel tot? Ich habe die ganze Zeit nur auf Eils geschaut und Eils lebt. Ach du Scheiße.
Pushing up daisies. Everybody else on the team has to try to get away from this because Photon and Shaden are continuing their march forward. Over the wall goes the Aatrox. World Ender's ready. Kaney swooping around from the side. Castle gets locked up there in a rune prison. Now he's trying to turn it right back around onto the rise, and he does a hell of a lot of damage, but he's still all alone. Dignitas will not find any additional kills. Their health bars are also pretty compromised.
There's also a dragon coming up in 25 seconds. That's a dragon soul.
Oh, no.
Was macht Tomo? Was macht Tomo?
That was huge!
Die sind alle tot! Was machen die? Nein! Nein! Nein!
Dignitas!
Nein!
Pit with the throw! As Castle punished! finisher.
Castle is having such an incredible game. He delayed Dignitas's chase by getting two.
Nein.
And then on the reapproach, just solo kills Tomo.
Castle is smurfing it, man. Beautifully played from him all the way through the retreat into the counterattack. Watch this here again.
They have a control ward behind the red buff.
See it.
And so he sees Photon leave Tomo, and Tomo's auto-attacking, so he's like, hell yeah!
Everyone else on Dig was resetting. That's why you've got to all recall at the same time. Synchronize your backs, otherwise you lose.
Oh nein!
And then look at the reaction, because then he also just flashes in for the wall charge.
Und die kriegen Soul auch noch. Nein. Und Drache hat wieder Flash up. Es ist so guckt. Wie broken ist am besser.
Okay. Just won them the game.
Yes.
I mean, Castle just won them the game, but also that control
were good, and just the fact that everyone else on Dig decided to recall it red, and Tomo said, I better go check to see if there's a control ward in this bush. Was a mistake. Or an Ambessa in the bush. He did find the Ambessa.
That was crazy, though, because, yeah, the escape in itself from Castle was impressive. You know, Ambessa, and he used the dashes away really nicely while doing a bunch of damage. But then you can never like be relaxed in that moment. And they thought they had fully chased DSG all the way back to the base, but Castle still looking for the opportunity. And a lot of times when that opportunity presents itself, like, you really have to have the confidence to just go in there anyways and just full send at the AD carry that is attacking this ward. I don't believe they had perfect vision on the rest of the team.
No.
And so he was just like, yeah, they're probably like too far away to collapse. They're probably, you know, recalling or something like they actually were. And so he jumped on this that presented itself.
Oh, ein K Gold, das ist noch nicht over.
Entire game.
Disguise pushing towards the tier 2 down here in the bottom lane. Should be able to just brute force this one down. They'll take that, move back up to a 2,000 gold lead alongside the extra little bonuses from all the dragons and the flowers. The Infernal Soul itself also contributing a lot of extra.
Gehen wir jetzt ausenthalten, ja. Aber Seele, das meinte, Alter. I don't know, ist dieser Rise nicht komplett OP? Und der Photon eigentlich auch? Gibt's da lange für den dritten?
Everybody else on Disguised is waiting for that next wave to start trying to break into the base in bot lane.
Keep in mind, this is an elimination game. If DSG wins this one, Dignitas could be eliminated from the year unless they win 3 games in a row. So it's important they make this defense right now.
Kaney immediately has to pop his Zonias, though.
Oh mein Gott, blockt irgendjemand bitte die Jhin-Ulti?
Team body blocking. Oh, shot from Rahel with Kaney out of the picture. Disguise have an amazing opportunity to end the game right here. 5 men strong in the enemy base. First inhibitor's over.
Bitte.
The second one is about to die over here in mid. Rahel has been left on his own yet again, but he is still alive at this point. All 3 inhibitors wiped off of Summoner's Rift. Dignitas scrambling to try to hold on here in the second game. Darkwings gets caught a little bit there by some of the Aatrox damage. Photon wants to go in and finish him off, but the Nexus turrets are about to die first. Dignitas still 4 alive.
Das kann nicht wahr sein.
Dignitas forced back into the fountain.
Das kann nicht wahr sein.
Hell's gonna be the only one to die in the fight, but Disguised will come back and take the dub. They're moving to match point.
Holy.
That sums it up, Kobe. Unbelievable. The Rahel Tomo experience.
Oh mein Gott.
How do they feel?
Boah.